Hey, I'm Kevin and welcome back, or maybe it's your first time, welcome to the family. Today we're going to talk about 3 ways to immediately improve your practice routine. Whether you feel like you have it in check or maybe you feel like your practice routine is a little lackluster, these suggestions are going to help get everything in line for you and really find a successful routine. Let's get to number 1. Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and click that alert bell so you know when the next video is coming your way. If you're interested in more learning resources, head over to allforyouke.com where we have a full searchable library of songs, song sheets, practice tracks, worksheets, and more. All for you, allforyouke.com. Number 1. Find a space and be present. So do you have a room in your house where you don't have technology, a TV, something to distract you? Maybe a nice bright place where you can kind of drift off and just focus on your practice. So my suggestion here is find a place where you can kind of be alone and be present and really focus on your practice. And maybe turn off those phones, turn off the notifications so you're not being interrupted and you can really focus on your practice. So find that place, and in addition to that, have the uke in your sights. So I like to use one of these string swing wall hangers, which is pretty nice. So I just have my uke hanging, or you could even get a little small stand so that your uke is in your sights. So when you enter that practice area, you see your uke, it's there inviting you to kind of pick it up and get the strings in your hands. So number 1 is be present and find that space. Number 2, set an intention. When you get ready to practice, try to write something down, maybe just have something in mind that you want to accomplish for the session. Because oftentimes we walk into our practice routine, kind of get set up, and then we go, well, I don't know. I've got all these different things I'm working on. What should I play? I've done this myself. I do it all the time. But I find that when I write something down, just that one little thing for the day, it might just be practicing the island strum, practicing hammer-ons, practicing a B flat chord, working on bar chords all together. Set an intention, set a focus, and really set 5 minutes aside to work on that specific task, because we need to work on the things that are uncomfortable for us so that they become comfortable later. So set your intention, set a little time aside for that specific task, and again, make sure you're doing it in your practice space. So number 2, there you go. If you're digging the sound of my uke, head over to allforyouke.com/shop. You can have a Kala ukulele for yourself. When you buy your Kala ukulele through All for Uke, you're supporting us, and we really appreciate it. Make sure you check it out. Concerts, sopranos, tenors, baritones, a wide selection of accessories, capos, and more. All for you, allforyouke.com/shop. Number 3. Journal your journey and record yourself. So how many times have you practiced and then looked back a week later and thought, what did I actually practice? Or am I getting any better at this? Well, 2 components to this. One is recording yourself. So you might have a voice recorder on your phone. I know I told you to keep those phones away, but if you're going to use for the voice recorder, it's a great way to self-evaluate yourself. Maybe take that B flat chord that you're playing, practice it a few times, and record it. Listen back to the recording, because a lot of times it's hard to remember what everything sounds like in your practice routine. So I find that when I'm recording ideas, recording myself, listening back, I can really have an objective view of what I've been practicing. And not only that, I can see that I've been making improvements because I can hear them. So take some time, record yourself, and then in addition to that, try to write down and journal some of the things that you've been practicing. I have a little music journal that I put together. I just write the date down, write down a few of the things that I practiced, maybe make a couple of categories. What are some of the things that went really well that you felt comfortable with? And what are some of the things that were more challenging to you that you need to put on the agenda for the next day? So make sure you're journaling your practice, recording yourself. It's going to help you keep track of what you're doing so you don't forget what you've been doing over the last couple of weeks. And it'll also help you set the intention for the path going forward. So number 3, journal and record yourself. Well, I hope you found these suggestions to be helpful. If you have anything that you want to share with the community, please leave that in the comments below. Where you like to practice. What do you do for your routine? Do you have anything to add to what I mentioned today? I'd love to hear from you. I also want to mention that I have some resources that you can use for your practice routine, including a practice journal, blank chord charts, song sheets, worksheets, all sorts of practice materials that you can use to improve your routine. Well, my name's Kevin. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you again next time.
Let's get